Hi, it's Julie. So today, this is our first training video. Welcome to the group and thank you so much for participating. I hope you learn a lot and I hope it helps you. Okay, so today we're going to talk about how our brain works, because if we know how our brain works, then we are going to be able to use it more efficiently. Say you have this really awesome tool. Okay, I'm going to use a car store because I'm in a mechanic. So say I have this really awesome tool to help me work on the car that will solve this certain problem. If I don't know how to use it, then what good is the tool? So it's important to know how to use our brain properly, because it's an amazing tool that can give us so much power, but we have to learn how to use it. So I'm going to teach you a little bit today about how it works. Okay, so here's our head and our little body. So we have lots of parts of our brain, but there's a main part that's called the subconscious, and there's the conscious part of our brain. So the conscious part of our brain runs our our consciousness, so our movements and what we say and stuff like that. So we have control over ourselves that way. But we also have a subconscious that runs a whole bunch too. We're not going to get in that today, but it runs things like our heartbeat and our breathing and a lot of body language that we don't realize we're doing. All those kind of things are run by the subconscious. And that also is, when we're sleeping, we're not conscious, so our subconscious is running our body at that point. Okay, so in consciousness is what we're going to talk about today. We have a left part of our brain and a right part of our brain. And the left part of our brain is mainly, it's the logical part of our brain that, deals with the data and all that kind of stuff. So when we make a goal, we logically think, what do we want? And we have reasons why. So I want this goal because this and this. This is why I want this, goal, to have this goal and to reach this goal. So we have this amazing goal and we have all the reasons why. And then the right side of the brain is more the creative and the emotional based side of the brain. So if we make a goal and we only use our left side of the brain, where that's the logical reasons why, that's great. But if we're not using the right side of the brain with it, then we don't have as much power, because we're only using a small portion of our brain. And I want to use my whole brain, don't you? Okay, so we're going to try to tie it over. We're going to try to have both sides of our brain working for us. So we need to link it. And how do we do that? Well, we need to figure out why. Why do we want that goal? But not only why, but we need to find the emotional why. Because if we have an emotion attached to it, that is what is going to link it. Because then it's going to carry over and our emotions are going to tell us, give us a driving force behind it. It's going to make it take up more than just a quarter of our brain. It's going to take up half our brain if we attach the emotion to it. And guess what happens? When you figure out the emotional why behind it, it drops down into your subconscious. And this is the garden. This is where we have fertile growing ground. And so we take that little seed and we link it together, give it some water, take the seed and give it some water, and it drops down into the soil down here, and then it will start growing and it will eventually turn into a big amazing plant or tree or whatever it is. It will turn into what you planted. But we have to use our whole brain so that it will actually come to fruition. That is how we use our brain to make goals. And you've done this before, but maybe you haven't realized. But that is what we do. That's how we have to make goals, is we have to connect those, and then it drops down into our subconscious. And in later videos, I will explain more about how that works and how we can drop it down into our subconscious and help it grow. But today, this is all we're going to talk about. So I hope you enjoyed it. I'm Julie, and we'll see you tomorrow.